Oh yeah. Oh no. So I added a few after I mentioned what Dixie was the confusing one. I thought it was all wrapped up at Off to Shore, and then the other two, Yellow Submarine and Peace Train. But I wound up, and they come around live, like they come around like, hey, he's been doing this for years over here. We'll just come around like he's not on Memorex, and they're like, what? He's filming a movie? Wah! Or something similar. They make requests. I was like, okay, so I put the Dixie thing with Sling Blade and I summed that up. And I mentioned, the dozen names, the 11 celebrities. So Yolande, she's my cousin from Sweden. She came over in East Lyme during a Carlson family gathering. So what the advertisements is YouTube Bloody Sunday. Didn't I mention somewhere between 1 and 100 that's based on an actual event? There's Carlson people living in Sweden, New York actually, and it was a family gathering. And Mark came over from Sweden, and neo Nazis came out of nowhere and murdered all of them, like over 100, like close to 200, like over 200. It was a family gathering in New York, 1980, and neo Nazis murdered them, all of them, pretty much all of them. Like there were so few survivors when I was born. I wasn't allowed to meet any of my family, any of my cousins, or anything like that. So we did another one years later, just to take our own physical census. And I think it was like, okay, now that it's 2000 or 2010, you're allowed to live with your family again, depending on safety and stuff like that, and what happens at this gathering. So that's when I met Yolanda, and I think it was like 2006, and it was in East Lyme, somewhere in New Lyme County in Connecticut, when it was America. And they said, well, they said it's contested, but USA said it's USA in 2006. So, and being in the USA, it's like uncontested America. I guess before she came over, not the words in her mouth or whatever. America? Be like, America. Or something similar. So, anyway, I couldn't find not to put words in her mouth, but she was wearing my slippers in the music video. So what happened was she dropped off all sorts of clothes, all of her riches and everything that she brought with her, treated like a princess, and she's like giving it to charity, and it was all given to charity. And my mom gave her my slippers, my Pikachu slippers, and they're in the music video. It's like that's the same thing you were talking about in 2009 before your brother got it worse than you did somehow as far as big boo boos. So yeah, we were talking about releasing the video through all sorts of stuff, and I was listening to her demo, and she was just here a couple of years ago. And she got displaced to South Africa for like some kind of Peace Corps or something or whatever with some family. And they really did live down there for a while. So now her second CD, although I haven't heard it, I heard it's racist. And it's probably too racist for shelves. But it's out there in like South Africa. That's probably just a rendition of like anonymous South Africans treating people that aren't from around her, and it's not really her reaction back, but more of her impersonation of like or her rendition of blending in there. And depending on the crowd or our album, it's a tour about the second album. The second album was about the Peace Corps thing in South Africa. It's like they donated a whole lot of money. They donated a whole lot of all their possessions and things, and then they were donating time in body, through relief efforts for like Peace Corps, like Red Cross, like sort of like what I was doing back then too, like civil service, over the world, to end the war before it gets worse, and kind of take whatever kind of escalation it had and then work backwards with it diplomatically through like communications and etc. So I mentioned Monet. You mentioned she's your fourth cousin. Yolande, I'm not sure. I know she's like my cousin, probably my second or third, or something similar. But as far as keeping in mind a family today, I mentioned like Skinny. Is she my Cherokee wife, even though she's my dad's half sister? I was told the Cherokee aren't an endangered indigenous species. Um, but like as far as lineage with Nord, she's 25%. And I was actually seriously considering like sort of a, well, is she my Cherokee wife and my dad's half sister at the same time? I thought she was my sister for a while. Were Cherokee around? Telling me yep for a while, or she, Bert, it's in the wind, or baby, who's to say? Not really sure myself, so I guess we could play flip a coin into the 3 cup trick for something similar. Anyway, so we mentioned the dozen dames, and you really spent that much time with Bush Pierce, and So he said, yeah, well, these 12 seats open for them, and and they're skinny, which is 9. Yolanda's still like really expensive. She's family, but whatever. And anyway, I picked 9 so far as the list of passengers. And if we could please let the man rest, he has plans as far as ordinary person ahead of himself. He's not just a digital something doing for TubeCorp or whatever the heck. So go ahead and check out and say about like 3, 2, 2, 2, 1, 6, 10.